beautiful area of California. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I'm at, but I will say that right now, at least for the next couple of days, Sunshine, California. It's gorgeous out here. Now, if you're watching this later, pay attention, because there's going to be a lot of stuff in this video that are going to be helpful, not only for those that are owners of RVs already, but those that are looking to either trade in or purchase. So I decided to do this outdoors today because I want to get some fresh air, and the weather has finally cooled down because all the desert cities have been absolutely miserable, just absolutely horrible with weather. I mean, we're talking about there are parts of Las Vegas, Phoenix, Mesa, Tucson. I mean, these places are freaking hotter than heck, man. So here's the thing. The RV factories are making a huge mistake. Hi, Basic Mom. All of them. Every one of them. Grand Design RV, Brinkley, Forest River, Keystone. They're making a crucial mistake right now. So crucial that it's going to come to bite them in the rear end in about 5 months. Okay? Hello, Karen. The first thing that they're doing wrong is they're not paying attention to the possible part shortage that's coming. So you've sold all these 2024s, in some cases 2023 RVs, fifth wheels, toy haulers, travel trailers, etc. You're going to need parts for warranty. So why are you continuing to massively produce 2025s when we know as an industry a parts shortage is coming? It's like you're basically cock blocking yourself. Let's be real, you're cock blocking yourself. I'll give you a little spin. A little spin. So you're absolutely cutting your you-know-what off despite your face. And then on top of that, you've come up with 0 programs that incentivize buyers to buy the crap that's on people's lots right now. And I call it crap because, not because they're all poor quality or anything, but because it's like, why in the Sam Blue hell? It's like, for example, here's the best example. Ford, let's say, has, in a normal year, sells 200,000 F-150s. And in the market right now, Ford has 700,000. Now, this is an exaggeration, but just bear with me. That's a 3.5 year supply of what they normally sell. Why would you build more? But they're not doing it. They're not paying attention. They're not paying attention. They're cutting their nose off to spite their face. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to guys like me. It's frustrating to dealerships. It's frustrating to the consumer because it whacks consumers out. Like, wait a minute. We're told we're in a buyer's market, but yet they continue to build, and now they're raising prices on 2025s when the market's slow. Why would they do that? And that's the third mistake they're making. There are brands out there that have decided to raise their prices. See, to make things right, to make a correction work. See, here's the thing. Everybody's so scared about the stock market and interest rates and all this crap. We have to get our economy back to normalization, not inflated. So that's why all these interest rates are staying high. That's why I know I'm being told I'm an idiot. Oh, they promised us a rate cut in September. They didn't promise nothing. Jerome Powell and the Fed have never promised a damn thing. They have said over and over again that the interest rates will come down when inflation is under control. They're not going to let a stock market crash affect their decision, because the stock market crash, a stock market correction back to normality, crashing the housing market back to normality, if we allow it to happen, it'll get our economy back to affordability for everybody, because they're not going to cut your wages when they cut prices. So we got our wage hike, some of us, but prices are outpacing the wages. What'd they say the other day? 2.7 to 1. So why are you continuing to build? Why not handle what's in front of your face? I know why. Because the turnover in the RV industry is ridiculous right now, in the upper management and the sales side. You know what else I can't stand? I can't stand the fact that I'm finding out from my sources that multiple brands, not one, not two, but multiple brands are making the guys that are the bread and butter of the industry, making them re-interview for their job when it's not their fault, but because the Western United States is slow or the Southeastern United States is slow. They're gonna make crap roll downhill. Okay? So we have to realize, and the industry has to realize, that we're 2 years away from normalcy if you stop building now. If you give the dealers a break. Okay? The dealers will figure it out. The factory workers will figure it out. There's an Amazon distribution center going into Elkhart, Indiana. You don't think that people aren't already applying over there? You don't think people are already trying to get a job over there, as slow as it is in the RV industry? Come on now. See, that's the problem. See, there's the ultra rich, and then there's the dumbass rich. Okay? The ultra rich see everything that's going on and go, okay, how do I make money in a bad economy? My same tactics aren't working every day. My same thing is not happening every day. Consumers, there's a movie called Baby Boy. If you guys ever get a chance, it's a gangster film, right? It's a gangbanger movie. And it's really good because of two things. It gives two life lessons in there. They're amazing. One of them is they're sitting in a parking lot. And they're saying he's got this all figured out. I'm going to do it without the foul language, okay? But I figured all this stuff out, man. There's buyers and there's sellers. That's all it is. There's buyers and sellers, right? The buyers are always trying to catch up and are always broke or always feel broke. And the sellers are the ones that are the ultra rich. And it has nothing to do with how much money you have in your bank. There are multi-millionaires that are buyers, not sellers. And that's what's going on in the RV industry, is a lot of these guys are sellers. They're trying to catch up to everybody else or outpace everybody else instead of fine-tuning and changing their tactics. See, that's the problem. That's been the problem with the industry for 45 plus years. It isn't something new, but it's being brought out more and more as you go through bad economies. You know, why did Beaver go out of business? Beaver was one of the best motorhome manufacturers in the industry, high quality. Why did they go out of business? They didn't change what they were doing. Why did Safari go out of business during the Great Recession? Because they didn't change what they were doing. Why did Monaco and Fleetwood file bankruptcy? Two really good companies. Because they didn't adapt. They didn't foresee. And I have a feeling that there's going to be some major changes, especially, watch this, if you're a publicly traded company. I have a feeling that there's going to be several publicly traded RV manufacturers that are going to have different presidents and CEOs by the end of the year. It's crazy. We are in like Dumbville, USA, when it comes to the upper echelon of management. And this includes, sorry to say, this includes Lippert. This includes Morride. This includes every one of them. They're not thinking outside of the box of how to make the industry correct, how to get it to correction mode, how to make and incentivize the consumer base, which is less than 12% of the United States population, to want to buy something. What's the incentive? Why is Ram and Nissan and Ford putting out these amazing programs? Because if they don't, no one's going to come buy their stuff. Come on. Think about it for a minute. We have an issue. And that issue is there's a lot of companies out there that are not just in the RV industry, but in every industry that are going to do something so stupid and so ridiculous that it's going to cost thousands of people their jobs. We officially have had 2 years to straighten this out. 2 bloody years to straighten this out as an RV industry. And we haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg yet. Now I'm going to tell you, there are dealers out there that I personally talk to that are doing really well. And they've given the old bird to the manufacturers. Like, I ain't taking your 2025s until you help me with my 24s. I talked to a 20 group. And if you're a manufacturer watching this, pay attention. I'm knowing 2 20 groups. If you don't want to know what a 20 group is, it basically is a group of dealers. They talk amongst each other, share business practices, share what's working, share any laws, share anything going on. Guess what? These 220 groups, which is comprised of about, I think, 70 dealers, somewhere around there, probably 65, have said, good luck getting me to order 2025 product. And if customers come walking in and I go out of business because I'm not carrying 2025s, so be it. I'm not doing it. I've done the factory enough favors. They need to start working with us, the dealer, not with themselves. We've done them their solid. We took their 23s. We took their 24s. The factory needs to pay the piper. The dealers already paid their 50%. It's time for the manufacturers to step up, offer rebates to the consumer and bigger rebates to the dealer so we can get this industry back on track. It's possible. It'll work. I'm telling you. That's all I have to do. Blah, 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 blah. That's what everybody always says to me. You know what's funny is the blah, 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 blahers always tell me that. You know how many people hate me? I'm good with the hate. Bring on the hate. I speak the truth. So bring the hate. Bring it all. And it's not Bidenomics. Bidenomics have nothing to do with it. Trumponomics have nothing to do with it. It has to do with mismanagement of inventory. That's what it has to do with. Has nothing to do with anything else. Bidenomics do not affect the RV industry. The RV industry is affected by its own stupidity, its own mistakes, its own problems. Interest rates, when I first got in this industry, was at 16, 17%, double what it is right now. And yet we're still selling stuff. By the way, that was during a Republican in office. So it has nothing to do with who's in office. Nothing to do with it at all. That's a mindset. Most people that RV don't care who the president of the United States is. They don't let it bother them. The people that do RV, they don't let some politician decide their lifestyle. They just do it. And that's a lot of the country. No, Kevin, I don't think so. I think it's remember we're talking about part shortages? I think generators are going to be a part of that part shortage. Well, good for you. I mean, good for you. It's ridiculous how things are going. Because let's just imagine. We get to winter 2024 here. Snowbirds are on their way. Somebody's heater or furnace goes out as they're heading towards Memphis, Tennessee, Tampa Bay, Florida, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or Coeur d'Alene would be Snowbird. Sorry, that's Snowbird territory. They come south. Imagine all these desert communities: Palm Springs in California, Phoenix, Arizona, Albuquerque, New Mexico, some of the snowbird sites. Furnace goes out on a cold night, and they can't get a furnace for 5 months because manufacturers won't stop building. They're not paying attention. And it's purposely. It's all about, let's not pay attention to the problem in hand. Let's create more problems, right? That's what it's all about. Let's create chaos because we're reactive, not proactive. And every single RV manufacturer is guilty of it. I don't care if it's Outdoors RV, which is a fabulous manufacturer. I don't care if it's Coachman. I don't care if it's Forest River. I don't care if it's Winnebago, Grand Design. It doesn't matter. They're all guilty of it. Every one of it. Most RVers can afford it. Most RVers will afford it. But most RVers are looking around going, price, there's no incentive. Unless you're buying used. Now, used buyers are everywhere. I mean, I'm running into a bunch of them. And they're spending their money. They don't care about interest rates. Oh, my interest rate is 10%. I'll refinance it when rates go down. Oh, my interest rate is 8.4. I'll go refinance it. My rate is 7.99. I'll go refinance it. They don't care. Talk about the RV industry. Yeah. No, guys, it's not pretty. Wolfpack, it wasn't just random or not. It's Wolfpack that got canceled. There were a lot of people emailed me about that. They're decontenting the RVs and raising the prices. They're taking stuff out and raising the prices. They're just, I mean, how stupid can you be? Now, they're not raising them dramatically where it's like, oh, we're going to go from 50,000 to 70,000. No, I mean, they're not that stupid. But it's ridiculous to even raise a price. It's ridiculous to take stuff out of the unit and raise the price. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. Okay? Absolutely moronic to do that. Now, why are they doing that? Because their profit margin went to hell because there wasn't that many 2024s built. It was one of the worst. See, this is the problem about these puff pieces. This is the problem with corporate RV dealership YouTubers. This is the problem with brand ambassadors. Look, I'm not one to sit there and criticize someone for making money. Never would do that. You know, whether you're based in Michigan, based in Florida, based in Texas, you know who you are. I'm never going to tell you stop making money. I'm not that guy. But what I am going to say is stop telling people the corporate narrative. The best thing to do is just not say anything at all. Because this is why I feel so good about what I do on this channel, is because I had another subscriber come down and buy a motorhome from me. Why? Because I speak the truth. They still bought a used motorhome. Another one buy a used travel trailer. Another one bought a used toy hauler. I got another young lady that wants me to help her buy a new fifth wheel. I'm in. I'll help. No problem helping. I had no problem driving to you. Too much wind noise. We'll go back in the car in a minute. I just want to be outside for a minute, walk around. It's an absolutely beautiful day. I mean, it's 95 degrees at freaking 6:21 in the afternoon, but I mean, that view is amazing. I'm in Southern California right now, and that view is absolutely outstanding. I don't know. There's people that are in the market for a new one. They just don't feel incentivized. It has nothing to do with quality. I was talking to a bunch of people. We'll go back in the car here in a minute. But I was talking to a bunch of folks that were on the podcast, because I'm going to start doing the podcast live on the podcast channel. I was talking to, because they're going to be guests on there, and they're you know, if we can arrange it. And they're in the market to buy. And I was talking to them about it. And they were telling me, like, the quality doesn't scare them on the stuff they're shopping for. Even with all the frame problems, Grand Design's going through, I have a lady that wants to buy a Momentum. You know, she knows all the things. She says that's not scaring me as much as there's no incentives. You know, they got all these car companies, all these mortgage companies throwing incentives at people to go buy and spend their money. And they're not. It's the same name as the channel, but podcast at the end. Hi, Oliver's Lawns. You know, she said there's no rebates, there's no cash incentive for me to go buy a toy hauler right now. She says maybe in 2 years when rates go down, that'll be my incentive. But right now, she goes, I'd rather pay a higher price in 2 or 3 years with a lower interest rate. But if they can give me some kind of incentive, like a big rebate, then I'd take the high interest rate right now. No, I don't know Australia very well. But it's very calming and interesting to hear the perspective from the customer, because I get a lot of nasty emails. I get a lot of nasty messages. I get harassed with nothing but just dumb things. Like, one of the things that was said to me today in an email was that I'm the biggest piece of crap on God's green earth, and I should stick to things that I know and stay out of my nose with the RV factory business. Like, really? Why would you send me that? I have another person who wants to argue with me about how national park camping works. Like, really? I've been doing this 15 years, and apparently I don't know anything about national parks. I don't know anything about camping out in, you know, the middle of the desert or middle of the mountains with no hookups. Apparently I don't know any of this stuff. I do believe in God. Yeah, prices will go up when rates go down. What's good? What's good? So, I know. I'm not worried about it. I actually take all the hate and it feeds me. it feeds my drive to just want to do more. I know half of it comes from dealers or factory people at the RV factory level. I know it's them because, you know, why would somebody get so upset over what I say? I know some of it is folks are fans of Liz Amazing and fans of some of these corporate RV dealership YouTubers, and they ride and die with these people, just like a lot of you ride or die with me. You know, I know at least half of the folks that are subscribed to my channel, my podcast, will ride or die with me. So I'm not worried about it. It's just fuel for the fire, right? Yeah, well, look, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the people that are real RVers and not the people sitting on the sidelines are the folks that, you know, enjoy the content. You know, they enjoy the live streams. They enjoy, you know, everybody's got a different thing that they like about my channel. A lot of you like my live streams like we're doing now. There's a lot of folks that rather just listen to the podcast every week. There's a lot of folks that like my walkthrough videos, my RV finance videos, combinations of all of it. I have subscribers that are in it only for the 60-second or less videos, what they call shorts. You know, TikTok, I have a lot more haters on TikTok than I do on YouTube. But it feeds my how do I put it? It feeds my desire to build this thing. You know. There you go. Cool, Tina. That's good. All you guys got to do is, oh, by the way, I do have an announcement real quick. I'm not going to make it out to Hershey. I want to, but I can't. But I am going to Tampa Bay. So if you're in Florida or you're going to the Tampa RV show in January, the honey badger will be there. And I will be walking around like a peacock with all his feathers out. Piss everybody off that hates my guts. It's going to be fun. I can't make it to Hershey. I wanted to. I can't make it. It's not going to work out. Just too many things. The family's coming back from Mexico later this month. I couldn't find a flight that I could afford. But I found a flight I could afford to Florida, baby. Now, I don't know where I'm going to stay yet. But believe you me. Now, I will say this. My boy JD from Big Truck Big RV, if he's there, I don't know. He might have to hold the camera and I'll have to talk crap the whole time. I'll be talking a bunch of smack. I'll be like The Rock from the old WWF days. Maybe a little bit like Stone Cold. You know, that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. I don't know. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun in Tampa. I'm not going to dealer days in Indiana. I'm not going to dealer days in Oregon. I don't think any of those guys want to see me, especially since one of them had tried to get me canceled. He's got a chance. He or she has an opportunity to give me a phone call. And I found out he or she has my phone number. I'm going to try, man. I just can't find a flight that I can afford. I'm not going to spend $1,500 round trip. I just don't have that kind of money. Pick my brain. Where are the dealer shows that these prototypes are being sent to from Wolfpack? Yeah, it's the Hershey show. They'll all unveil them in Hershey. Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's where they'll unveil them. Like to purchase a used Class A, diesel pusher. Money for a down payment. Well, I saw a bunch of the diesel pushers can't get right. You know, financing is really tough on those only because the rates and the terms are so weird. The rates are, I mean, I couldn't even quote you an interest rate anymore on a 10-year-old unit just because, I mean, they're so out of whack. You could have great credit and be at 13% over 10 years. You could be at 8.99 over 15 years. I mean, that's a rough one. What I would do is I would go to a credit union and get a backup approval, and then go to the dealer and get it, or go to private party and get it. Even credit unions are cracking down on the age, but like U.S. Bank through a dealer, not going in person, but if you go through a dealer, U.S. Bank, Huntington National Bank, these banks will do 15, 20-year-old units, but it's just so wacky how their algorithm works. I watched a diesel pusher. Customer went to a dealer. It was a 2012 Winnebago Journey. Guy has stud credit, put 30% down, and his rate was 14.95. He goes to 3 other credit unions that he's members of, and they wouldn't even finance it because of the age, even though it's diesel. So it's so wacky. And then I just talked to a guy that bought a 2010 Fleetwood Discovery, and he got an 8.5% rate over 7 or 8 years on that loan. So just so wacky. Older motorhomes, older RVs are just, they're financeable. There's a lot of banks out there that are expanding, but you got to understand, at the end of the day, they're still going to hit you at a higher rate in a shorter term because of the age. Spider-Man. No, I'm not a Spider. Well, I could be. All the more reason to go to those shows. Don't let them win. Well, here's the thing. There's no such thing as winning or losing, guys. This isn't about winning or losing. It isn't. It's about getting you the information and you going making good decisions. Your dealer, who cares if your dealer would want you to go or not? You're just going to look. I wouldn't worry. Hershey, Pennsylvania, it's probably going to be more money than what your dealer is going to sell it to you for, random or not. I would just go and see it, check it out. Okay, Travis Meyer says something inappropriate. You're welcome. Sometimes, Kevin, that would be a good idea. I think in some cases, some dealers are doing that. I think some dealers are doing like package type deals where, I'll give you an example. I know of a dealer that's in Idaho. They're giving a monster gift card out with every 2023 sold. And the gift card is to their store. I don't think it's $2,500. I think it's like $1,500. But most of their 2023 inventory is like, under 30 grand. So they don't have like big expensive items. That would be something very incentivizing. But I think the biggest incentive has to come from the factory. Most of the people I talk to, they don't, and this is the interesting part. Most of the folks I talk to don't want the dealer to lose money, okay? Most real people, and I'm going to say 85% of buyers don't want the dealer to lose money, but they don't want to feel ripped off either. They want to feel somewhere in between where the dealer's making the money they need to make, but they're not overpaying, okay? So I know some people have said that they'll go to a show, they'll go to the dealer's giving them the invoice on a diesel pusher, a $250,000 invoice diesel pusher. And, they're selling it for, let's say, 10 grand, 12 grand back. Well, they're getting a little bit of that money back. They might be getting 5, 6, 7 grand back, that kind of invoice. But they're still losing pure profit. And most people at that dollar amount pay cash, okay, or they finance half. So there isn't a lot of big financing incentives at that number, right? The incentive has to come from the factory, like in the car business. In the car business, factories give out big incentives for customers to walk in. They incentivize them to walk in the door with financial incentive. And that's where, like, if you tell me, if the money's coming from the dealer, that scares people a lot of times, because if a dealer is losing money on, let's say, half their deals, that spooks people. Where am I going to get service? How am I going to get it service? It's a spooky thing. You know, I'm going to say probably we're going to get another 40 dealers go out of business by the end of the year. 40, 50 dealers are going out of business in the United States by the end of the year. It's going to happen. Okay. You know, there's going to be camping worlds that are going to shut down. Redundant camping worlds. There's going to be redundant Blue Compass RVs that are going to shut down. You know, we're not talking about they're going out of business because they're shutting down because they're not making money, but because they're a redundant store. Okay, they bought too deep. There's going to be repercussions from all these other corporate dealers, you know, that got bailouts. You know, you got Lazy Days RV that lost $22 million in a quarter and now have delayed their earnings call again. This is not going to be a pretty scenario. But if you look, like, I know of about 18 single location dealers. They're not affiliated corporations. They're like mom and pop shops. They're kicking ass. But again, they just, to them in their mind, they're like, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I talked to one sales manager. Him and I had a very long chat. You know, there's a big push by Forest River to sell new floor plan stuff. And I had several dealers say, yeah, they got live on video and show us all this cool stuff, but I'm not buying a fifth wheel from the factory for $95,000. How many people in the market right now are buying $110,000 fifth wheels? No one. Very rare. Okay. How many people are in the market to buy a $60,000 travel trailer? No one. So going back to the basics is what these dealers are doing. They're going to the auction. They're going and getting consignments. They're buying cheap inventory because there's a lot of people that still want to buy and still go camping. There's a big market of used out there. And when it's priced right, it's selling. When it's overpriced because people's egos get in the way, whether it's a dealer or a private seller, if your ego gets in the way, you're not going to sell your used piece. But if you got it priced right, and you got a price to move, there's buyers all over the place, moving quick. Well, thank you, Malcolm Willis. So we're in kind of, it's just like with, you know, I don't know if you guys know this, but the president of the United States, whichever person gets elected, good luck to them. They got a bigger mess than the RV industry does. Yeah, yeah, exactly. How many people are out? That's why I named Outdoors. Outdoors is making just as big a mistake because they're not adjusting their build schedule to what the market is. Nobody is. Nobody's making that adjustment. Like, if you built 300,000 RVs this year, you should build less than 90,000 in 2025. That's how much inventory is out there. Right now, by my calculations, the way I do math, maybe I'm wrong, okay? I could be wrong, but I calculated based on RV Trader and RVT. I took all the numbers of all the new inventory. I broke it down. I did a whole, like, at night, I'm sitting around, you know, thinking how much inventory do we really have? Right now, new inventory. Doesn't matter what model year, new inventory. If you base everything off 2018, which was one of the best years for the RV industry as far as selling, it wasn't inflated because of COVID. We right now have a 19-month supply of RVs. 19-month supply. Okay? Why are you building? Why are you making anything? You should focus on getting rid of the stuff that's in the yard or in the dealer's lots, not on building fresh crap. know, plan out 90,000 units. How, you know, whatever you built this year, build a third of it and you will be there. Yeah, I mean, Kevin, that'd be a good idea. I think like a trade-in rebate of any kind would be helpful. Any rebate that is attached and given and used directly with the consumer, it would be perfect. You could call it that. You could, instead of being, you know, a loyalty rebate, you could say, you know, if you bought a Forest River product and it's a trade-in and you're going to a Keystone, there should be a rebate for that. You know, yeah, 19-month supply of new RVs. Class A motorhomes, it's 22-month. For fifth wheels under $50,000, it's an 8-month supply. And there's not very many of those. And for travel trailers that invoice under $30,000, they have a 6-month supply. Anything over $30,000 is a 27-month supply. They have this is based on 2018. They have an over 2-year supply of travel trailers that invoice over $30,000. That's factory invoice over $30,000. Yet, I'll give you a great example. How about travel? I just recently sold a travel trailer, Keystone Cougar. Okay, that Keystone Cougar invoiced for around $49,000. We sold it for like 33 or 34 grand. They soaked it up, so it came in and it left. I took pictures and video of it. Didn't even get the video on YouTube, and it was gone because people are like, "Yep, I like that floor plan. Oh, look, it's 4 years old, pretty clean." And I don't have to spend 55 grand for the dealer to make their 9%. Peace! Look how beautiful the freaking sun is getting. It's just gorgeous out here. Yeah, this is a new time slot, Blair. 6 p.m. Pacific time. I had to start doing it earlier. Can't really explain why yet. And by the way, the podcast is going to be live streamed from now on. But you can watch it afterward, just like this. Just like technically you can watch this live stream anytime you want. It'll actually pop up on people's feeds as a regular video as it gets published. But one of the most interesting things is I'm going to live stream the podcast because just as busy as I've been filming, doing marketing for several dealers out there, you know, I have one really appreciative dealer that's just like, holy crap, we've never seen this many video views. No, that's the thing. See, the dealers pay for the inventory. The bank gives the money to the factory. These dealers are getting their butts kicked with what we call curtailments. That's why I said another 40, 50 dealers are going out of business by the end of the year. They can't afford the payments. This is going to get really stupid really fast. It's going to get so dumb. It won't affect pricing. That's what people are thinking is going to happen. It's not going to affect pricing at all. Pricing is not going to get affected. Okay? Just like the car industry, the pricing's not going to get affected. The only thing that's affected is if there's factory incentives. That's it. There's nothing else there. There's nothing else. They're not going to instantly go for 10 cents on the dollar. It's never going to happen. But used is going to be huge. Used is going to be a huge market for the next 3 years. Well, can't get right. It really depends, brother. I mean, or sister. Sorry, either way. It depends on what kind of payment you're looking for. Okay, so here's what I would do. This is what I always recommend to people: go to an RV loan calculator. Okay, go use a base rate of 10%. Go use a base years of 15 years or 180 months and just put different amounts financed in there and find what that level of dollar amount. Now, what I would do when I normally sit down with somebody and I'm going to draw it, if somebody actually wants to give me information and not act like it's a car purchase, God, that frustrates the crap out of me. Everybody, what's the out the door number? Cash or finance? Well, that doesn't matter. I want to know what the out the door number is. It's not a car purchase, folks. It's an RV purchase. They're two different things. But when I actually get somebody that actually comes up to me and goes, hey, you know, I'm going to finance it. You know, I've got $15,000, $20,000 down. I kind of typically show them how that kind of works, how price and payment correlate. Like, it's not like where you pack the hell the payment on a car. So if you're $1,000 a month customer and you've got, let's say, 15 or 20 grand down, you're looking for an $80,000 to $90,000 motorhome. Okay. If you are looking for, let's say you could afford a $1,500 payment and you got $20,000 cash down, you could probably afford something between $120,000 and $135,000. So that price and payment correlate big time in this industry. So I would start there. I would start with, what can I afford monthly? What can I afford down payment wise? And then reverse it so you know what price range to shop. Then negotiate a price, right? After you've got it all settled, then go negotiate a price. How can pricing not be effective? Supply is so great, demand is down. What keys? It's invoice pricing. What the dealers paid for the inventory isn't going to change. It's going up. Okay. Now it didn't go up dramatically, but it went up on a lot of hands. Okay. That being said, the dealers are not getting, you know, even if the dealers go out of business and the factories buy back the inventory, you're not buying stuff for pennies on the dollar. It's not going to work out that way. It just doesn't. What changes is the profit margin. In a good economy, dealers go from being at a 9% profit margin to a 12 to 15% profit margin, okay? Generally, in a bad economy, a dealer goes to 3 to 5% margin. And they depend on the back end and trades to make money, right? Or to survive. So the reality is, in an okay market, they're making 9.5%, 10% margin. That's all they make. Because you got batteries, you got propane, you got to pay the technicians, you got to pay the insurance, you got to pay the interest. The profit margin is very skinny and small on a new RV when times are not good. So the price is not affected. The profit margin is. And the profit margins depend on the dealers, not on the factories. So $20K down, $1,500 a month, start shopping around $120,000 to $130,000. Can't write 911. That's the best. And then if you find something for like $135,000, $125,000, whatever, then once you got that established and you found something, then go negotiate a price. Once a dealer knows you're financing, once a dealership actually knows that you're financing, thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate you, brother. Once a dealership knows you're financing, they actually incentivize themselves to be pliable with a price, because they know they're going to make a little bit of money from the bank, and they're going to they have a shot at selling you some products. Doesn't mean you're going to, but if they know you have the shot, okay, if they know you have the shot at that, they have the shot at it, they have the opportunity at it, they're more pliable with pricing than if you go in and say, I just want the out the door number. I don't know if I'm going to pay cash or finance. Like, this isn't a car purchase, folks. This isn't a grinded out, slimy car purchase. I mean, it just bugs me when people do that crap. No, what happened was manufacturers, it's not their costs that went up, it's their profit margin went away because they built less. So they're not building as much. So they raised their price to cover what they missed out on. So they took stuff out of the unit, raised the price. Not every manufacturer, but we're going to say a good chunk of them did it. So that way they can make up for all the stuff they didn't build last year. I have not. I've actually contacted Escape RVs. They have not gotten back to me. Zelus, when you are ready, Zealous 951, when you are ready, willing, and able is the perfect time to buy. It doesn't matter what month it is. It could be January, it could be July, it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be 5 years from now. When you're ready to purchase, that's the best time to buy. When you got all your ducks in a row you want to do, when you got your trips planned out, when you've given yourself permission, that's when it's good to go. It isn't like the car industry where don't buy till the last day in December, huh? It's not like that, right? It's very, very, very different, okay? Thank you, Can't Get It Right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Levi King, I wish I was making bank right now. $20 will put some money in the gas tank for me to go to the next destination, so I appreciate it a lot. I really do. I need to get to, like, if I was making bank, if I was going to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, I would need, what I say, $1,638. That's what I would need. $1,638 is a round trip ticket, and I would fly out of Vegas because I'm kind of a long story, but like that's where I wouldn't fly out of California or Arizona or Oregon. I'd probably fly out of Vegas because just I like that airport, and it was cheaper to fly out of Vegas than anywhere else. I have a fifth wheel, and no, I'm not towing my fifth wheel across the country right now. There's too many crazies out there. No, thank you. I would drive my car, but I'm, usually the middle of September, I'm pretty busy with putting, like right now, my schedule is packed. I'm helping out several dealerships kind of with marketing strategies, and I'm in the middle of a lot of I'm in the middle of a lot of work. And then I sell RVs on the side, guys. I mean, I sell used and new stuff on the side right now. And I don't tell you where or anything like that. I mean, everybody can kind of guess because you see the videos. You see the videos of where I've been. But the reality is that I just can't take. I have to fly so I could be there for 2 days and come back. It would just take too long, Blair. I'd love to. Trust me. I'd love to. And Levi, I appreciate you, dude. I am. Right now, Zelus, I would tell you probably California would be better. What part of California in? I'm assuming by the 951 at the end, you're in the Inland Empire somewhere. Or at least your phone number probably is in the Inland Empire. I would say California right now, because California is so overstocked with inventory. You probably get a better deal. If you want, you can email me. I'm actually going to be here in Southern California for a while. I have connections all over SoCal, so if you want to, email me. The email's in the description box. levingstonrvservices at gmail.com. That's levingston rvservices at gmail.com. No, I appreciate you guys a lot, man. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate everything you guys do for me. Appreciate all the support. Trust me. It's you guys are, the viewers are the reason why I do this. I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Doug Bolter, if he's watching or if he watches later. You guys, if you ever get to meet a guy named Doug Bolter, thank him, because the Honey Badger would not be on YouTube if it wasn't for Doug Bolter. It really wouldn't be. He's the one. So I worked with him at a dealership. We're partners at a dealership. Had great time. I think he retired recently, and he's one of the major reasons why I'm able to do this. He convinced me and kind of, I wouldn't say pushed me, but we'll say encouraged me. We'll say he shoved his foot up my butt, like, why aren't you doing this? Well, first of all, I hate the sound of my own voice. Okay? And number two, if you guys go back to my very first videos, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just doing the best I could. I didn't know anything about video production or live streaming. I mean, I'm 40 years old now, okay? If I could go back to my 22-year-old self and teach myself about this stuff, I'd be bigger than Liz Amazing and Josh the RV Nerd. But no, I had to wait till I was 37 years old to start this. You're welcome. Oh, you're welcome. Can't get right. You're Colton's a good place to go. You got Giant RV, you got Mike Thompson, you got, I think, Laguna RVs out there. You got Camping World, which is the old Richardsons. You got pretty good people at work there too. Here's what you do, Zalus, okay? When you go into Giant RV in Colton, California, you go up to a guy named Tim Reynolds and you say hi to him for me, okay? He's a good guy and he'll take good care of you, okay? He'll put you up with somebody that got a lot of product knowledge. I don't know if he's still there or not, but at Mike Thompson, if you find a guy named Doug Baker, ask for him. And then, oh God, what's Matt's last name? At Camping World, it would be, I don't even know if Steve Austin's over there anymore. Not Stone Cold, no Steve Austin. What is Matt's last name? Why am I drawing a blank? Why am I drawing a blank? I worked with the guy for a while. He's at Montclair Giant RV forever. Anyway, they'll figure it out. Yeah, I was terrible. It was bad. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Karen. So it's Tim Reynolds if you go to Giant RV in Colton, California. If you go to Mike Thompson's there, I think Doug Baker's still there. He should be. I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to some of those guys in a long time. It's been years since I've been at Giant. And then email me and I'll give you some others. Like if you're willing to go to Palm Springs and you're looking for something used, there's a few dealers out there that are good. There's some pretty good there's a pretty good dealership in Menifee, California, called RV Super Center. They're really good. You know, since you're going to be in Colton, Beaumont RV, it's my old stomping grounds. They got a good selection. The owner there would make you a really good deal. You know, if you're going to ask for somebody over there, probably ask for Joey, because Joey's usually there a lot. He's not the owner, but he's usually there a lot. Doesn't have a lot of product knowledge, but really good guy. He's one of those go-getters that goes and gets people loans even when they shouldn't get a loan. He's one of those guys that's willing to get on the phone and make things happen with banks. So kind of like I am, you know, kind of want to make it happen. So yeah, he's a good guy. Matt Norman's an excellent guy. I don't know if Matt's still in the business. God, Matt Norman. Wow. Matt Norman went to be a truck driver. I don't even know if he went back to the industry or not. Basque Mom, I'll send it to you privately. Email me and I'll send it to you privately. I'll send it to you privately. I use Zelle. I use Zelle and Cash App, but just send it to me. I'll send it to you privately. Do me a favor, email me, levingstonrvservices@gmail.com, and I'll send it to you. There you go. Yeah, he was, you know, Matt Norman was an awesome dude. Okay, so there's a story here. I'll finish this up. Matt Norman and I talked for years. I still talk to him. I haven't talked to him in a while. God dang, I better call his ass today. Now it's Amia. You just gave me the person I need to call. I haven't called him in so long. I need to call him. So there's a story, guys. So one day I go to everybody. If everybody's been a fan of this channel for a while, you guys know I love Jenks Lake up in the San Bernardino Mountains, right? So one day I'm driving, carrying my cart down and everything. My daughters are in tow, my wife's in tow, and we're walking down, and all of a sudden I swear to God, it's like I see this guy and I'm like, that's Matt Norman. And I used to work with Matt at Giant RV, okay, and Barber RV, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, that's got to be Matt Norman. And my wife's like, no, that's not Matt. Matt doesn't go fishing like that up here, does he? And I'm like, well, I think that is. So anyway, if anybody knows me, I'm brash and I don't care. So I just go walking up to a complete stranger out of nowhere, and sure enough, it's Matt Norman. Yeah. I worked at Giant RV in Colton for a long time, but it's been a long time since I did. So, if she's still there, Lori Cefelli, another really nice lady that used to work there. She actually, they used to call her the Heartland Queen. She used to sell a lot of bighorns, landmarks, some of my favorite stuff back then. I worked there from, let's see. God, I worked there forever. God, it was the early 2010s. I think I left in 2015 to go work at Barber RV in Ventura. It's Levingston, L-E-V as in Victor, I-N-G-S-T-O-N, rvservices at gmail.com. I did know Lupe. I knew Lupe. I wasn't like best friends with her or anything, but I knew who she was. We also had Noah Brewster at Montclair. Yeah, Mike Jock that ran Marietta at one point. Doug Baker was actually manager at Colton for a little while. You got Lonnie Nixon, R. Hawkins, Bill Saley, good old Wild Bill. Wild Bill Say. Got group. I came into this industry kind of in the middle of things. I came in the industry when the old school was becoming old school and the new age people were just coming in. So I got to learn from both sides. I came in just at the right time to learn a lot of the new stuff, a lot of the stuff. I came in right as the internet was like starting to take over the RV industry. So I have a little bit of old school. I have actually a lot of old school in me. Like when I work deals, when anybody comes up to me and says, well, I want to offer this amount of money on a coach. Okay, cool. Give me a credit card. What? Well, just go see if they'll do it first. No, give me a credit card. Show me you're serious. Show me you actually want to buy it. You're not just full of crap. I mean, that's how I used to be. I'm still that way. Like, if you want to make a stupid offer that's way below what a private seller or somebody is offering, I'm all in. I'll go up with that offer, but you're going to be committed to doing it right now. If you're not committed, then why are we even talking? Right? No, they wouldn't do it, but there's plenty of transport drivers out there that'll do it. I'll get you in contact with somebody. Damn straight money talks, I mean, it's like everybody asks, well, I had a guy up in Seattle, well, I don't do business that way. Just go find out what the best price is and call me back. Yeah, I'm not calling you back. Click. I mean, why would I call you back? I mean, it's like the guy, I always try to give everybody the same kind of idea. Like, it's just like the guy that's selling a dirt bike at a garage sale, right? He's got one guy over the phone asking him what his best price is, and another guy sitting there with an offer of cash money in his hand right in front of his face. Who's he going to deal with? The guy over the phone trying to be a jack and ask what the best price is, or the guy with money in his hand ready to rock and roll? He's going to talk to the money, right? And we're going to talk to the money. We're not talking to... It's just like if you want to make an offer that's a stupid offer, which I'm good with. I like stupid offers. Stupid offer means you actually want to buy. It means you're actually in the mood to spend money. I love that. I am not against it. But back it up with the money. Show the money. Show you're serious. Show you're ready. Show that I can run that credit card for a $10,000 deposit because you're ready to rock and roll. Because you can't just go call, well, I'm going to call the owner of this house and I'm going to see what his best price is. And then, okay, well, even though you met my price, I'm going to have to think about it. Click. No, when you make an offer, you put money in escrow. You show the owner of the house the money. And you're putting your money at risk that you're going to make the deal on the house. I mean, it's like the car industry has made the whole shopping experience soft. It's just, the car industry has made things so bad. It's ridiculous. Anyway. Well, we got to look at this sun real quick. Look at that sunset. Just starting. Gotta love that. Good Lord. I actually had a dealer not talk to me when I had money in hand ready to go for a Solstice Pontiac Coupe. He goes, oh, I got a guy coming up offer. Yeah, well, that's why I said the car business ruined things. Because now we have surveys. Did they treat me right? Did they treat me like I'm a 5-year-old kid? I mean, it's just like, what the? You have no idea. I've been at car dealerships. I worked at one. So there's a Parkway Hyundai. Well, it's no longer Parkway. It's now part of Auto Nation. But Parkway Hyundai in Santa Clarita, California. Man, I'd go into people and go, what is wrong with you? I mean, you know, there was this lady who got upset because the guy who was her salesperson answered her question directly and then proceeded to not send her a picture because that's what Hyundai says he should do. So I'm going to complain and get my coupon from Hyundai. I'm like, oh my God. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's that ridiculous sometimes. Like, it's that edgy. I've watched in a Cadillac store, probably one of the best sales guys I've ever met. Pro customer sales guy. Sells a lot of cars, has a ton of people in his backlog, lots of repeat buyers. People love this guy. He is an amazing man, amazing person, does a great job. And he got his bonuses taken away by Cadillac because he misspelt a word in an email, and the fresh customer that doesn't know who he is complained to Cadillac because Cadillac had a survey thing that you got a $1,500 additional rebate if the salesperson made a mistake. I'm like, so you're just going to email everybody so you can complain and get your $1,500? It's just, the car business just ruined a bunch of stuff. Just absolutely killed it. It's Levingston, L-E-V as in Victor. Here, I'll spell it out slow. L as in Larry, E as in Edward, V as in Victor, I as in Iceberg, N as in Nancy. Sorry, my brain is going mush. G as in Gary, S as in Sam, T as in Tom, O as in Octopus, N as in Nancy, so Levingston, and then RV services, plural, all one word, at gmail.com. It was probably removed on accident, Basic Mom, don't worry about it, no worries. Zalus generally right now, you're not going to get much off of selling prices because they're already selling them really. I mean, what I would do, this is how I negotiate. This is, if I were a customer and I'm going to go walk in and buy a new RV, okay, this is what I would do, okay? I would find the RV I want to find first that fits within my payment budget first, okay? So if you're going to make payments or you're going to pay cash, go find ones that fit within that category after sales tax and license fees and all that stuff, okay? So let's say that you're a $500 a month buyer, you've got $8,000 down, okay? That buys you about a $55,000 to $60,000 fifth wheel. So I would shop $50,000 to $60,000 fifth wheels. That's what I would shop, okay? Then once I found one that I liked, fits within that price range, new or used, then what I would do is I would start out by lowballing the payment. So as we know the payment is going to be $500 and you're good at $500, I would say you would start the payment at $350 with $5,000 down. Let them screwball around with whatever they're going to screwball around with, because it's going to send the desk manager through the roof. He's going to start yelling at the salesperson because What the hell? You couldn't show him the right payment? You couldn't explain it to him right? Well, that's your offer. We know you got $8,000. We know you have $500 a month. Offer $5,000 and $350, right? Okay, now once they've matched that, once they've gotten close, or once you've had some back and forths, then go ask for the sheet. Go ask for a G screen. A G screen generally is a breakdown of what they're actually selling the unit for, the sales tax, license fees, if you got any accessories like a fifth wheel hitch, or you got a solar, or whatever you decide to add to it. Okay, sometimes there'll be a prep fee in there. That's normal with, I don't think Giant RV does prep fees anymore, but everybody charges prep. It's just whether it's in the selling price or whether they separate it. Okay, that being said, then you could go, okay, let's say they end up at $49,600. You could say, okay, they're a discount from 55 to 49.6. All right, guys, you know what? I'm good with this. But if you take another $1,000 off the price, I'll do it now. That's how you negotiate an RV deal. You squeeze the payment first, then you squeeze the price. You don't play games about show me this and show me that. Maybe I'll do it, huh? No, that's how you do it. Okay. No problem, Basic Mom. I'm just my brain's turning to mush. Okay. So that's Zalus said 951. That's how I would do it. Okay. And then because at that point, you have room in the payment now. So when you go into finance, if you find something that you feel is a value, I think the most valuable thing is extended warranty. That's my opinion. Okay. Then you got room in your payment for that. You're not getting bumped for it. Right. So that's how I would do it. And then you're going to get a better deal going that route, because if they come back to you and say they just don't have any room in the price, you squeezed everything out of them. Okay. Then you go, you can always throw in, okay, well, how about a $500 credit to your parts store? Just ask for little things after that, and then sign on the dotted line when it's done. Okay, that's how it should be. A quick 20-25 minute negotiation. Let them run your credit. Let them see that they can make money on the financing if you're financing. If it's a cash purchase, you don't have a lot of negotiation with anybody in the country right now, because there's no incentive for them to sell cash because they don't make any money on cash. Cash is really good if you just don't want payments, or if you want just to have that title, or if you're buying something used that's kind of hard to finance in the first place. Yeah, they can and they can't. So with interest rates being as high as they are right now, that $500 a month, if you're at $500 a month, you're even on a 20-year term, you're still going to only be at like a $55,000 fifth wheel. So that's why I said lowball the payment, because a $350 payment, the max term is going to be like a 15-year term. So you're talking about a $32,000 to $36,000. That's what you're really offering them. At $350 a month and $5,000 down, you're really offering them like $40,000 on a $55,000 unit. You're really offering $15,000 off. But remember, you got to work the small numbers. When it comes to the RV industry, if you work the small numbers, you get a better deal overall, because the smaller the amount comes, the more acquiesce they become. When you start asking for $30,000 off or $35,000 off, and I'm not talking about MSRP, I'm talking about off the selling price, you just get thrown out of dealerships. They start getting just like, this guy's a whack job. While if you negotiate the small numbers, the down payment, the payment first, then go to the selling price, then you got a good job. It's not like the car industry where they can do wacky things with leases and pack payments and play stupid games with rebates. It's not the same thing. And that's why the RV industry should be negotiated different than, and same with the boat industry. The boat industry and the RV industry should be negotiated pretty similarly. Okay, gotcha, Bassick. Gotcha. I'll get to you. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. So buying points is different. So you could buy down the interest rate in the RV industry, but it's not really recommended with rates being as high as they are. If rates were like back at 399, 499, 599, then the buy down makes sense. You might be paying more for the rig up front, but the points save you a lot of money. Generally, and this is a general statement, in general, dealerships make financing reserve differently than they do in the car industry. So the car industry pays them out for the total of the loan. Because of the RV loans are more like mortgages, I'm going to say half the lenders pay a flat. Okay, so like half the lenders will pay like a 2 to 4 to 4.5% flat of the amount financed to the dealer. There's no markup of the rate. Okay, and then there are the banks that allow you to mark up the rate, but you only can mark it up so much, and you only get 1% or 2% of the loan per quarter point. Okay, in essence, let's say that the retail rate right now is 8.99%. Okay, that's at unions, banks, all the way around. When you go to a dealer is going to the dealer doesn't have to mark up the rate past the retail rate at all. They're either going to get it wholesale or they're going to get a flat from the bank. So you're paying the same rate. Just like there's some people that are ridiculous. I'd rather pay 2% more to my credit union than let you make money on the financing at a cheaper rate. Really? Somebody's ego is a little out of control, right? But there are people that are like that don't understand that that's like 30% of the income dealerships get. Okay, it's not a lot. On a travel trailer, it's 20 grand. I mean, they'll make between $400 and $1,200. That's what they make. They don't make $5 grand, on a $20,000 loan. That's not how it works. They don't make 2% every year. They get a flat fee up front based on the program, whether it's a marked up rate from wholesale to retail, or whether it's a what they call buy-sell, which means, like, let's say it's a Medallion Bank, one of my favorite banks I used for subprime. Okay, they do some prime loans too, but let's say it's a 13.95 subprime loan, they'll pay 2.5% as an example. So you don't get to mark up the rate at 13.95. Medallion just gives you 2.5% flat, saying thanks for the loan. That adds up. I don't know if you guys realize that adds up. So if you make $1,000 on average over 40 deals on finance, it's $40,000. $40,000 pays a lot of employees' paychecks. So that's why dealers don't like cash, because even though it'll be a $500 one here and a $1,500 one there and a $200 here one and a $2,000 here, depending on the amount financed, it all adds up. You throw it into a bucket, and at the end of the bucket, you're like, holy crap, I can pay like 9 people with that. I could pay my electric bill. I could pay my interest payment. I could pay this. I could pay that. It's cash flow. And that's the reality. And that's why cash deals are frowned upon right now. I depends. Credit union, basic mom, really depends. I would go get pre-approved at a credit union, okay? I mean, I'd still give the dealer a shot. Give a dealer a chance. That's the way you save money over the long haul. You can always refinance it 8, 9, 10 months later, okay? If you really don't like the rate. But most of the time, the dealer's going to get the same rate, if not less, than a credit union right now. But it's not a bad idea to go to a credit union and get pre-approved, especially if you don't have good credit. And good credit in this industry, remember, is like 760 or higher. If you're like a 741 or 739, go get pre-approved first and then go shopping. Yeah, exactly, Kevin. That's good. Good point. No, you're welcome, Zalus. So I would start with the payment. Okay, I would start with the payment. Negotiate your down and payment first. Okay, then negotiate the selling price afterward. So they're going to show you. They're going to do a 4-square, and a 4-square is to your benefit as much as it's to the dealer's benefit. It's to both of your benefits in the RV industry. It helps the dealer establish where their line is drawn, and it also helps you kind of read the numbers better. Okay, so let's say you're shopping for a $30,000 trailer. And your payment range is like $350 a month, and you got $4,000 down. Go in and say you want a $225 payment with $2,500 down. Start with that. Let them run your credit. Let them come back with what they're doing. After that, and you've come to some kind of arrangement where they're like, oh crap, you know, they got me down to 275. I was at 350. I got room there. Then ask them for that G screen sheet. It's going to show you the selling price, the PDI, everything else. Then just start asking for little chunks off of things. Okay, so if you guys lower this number down to this number, I'll do it. I like the payment, I like the down, but really I want to pay like $500 less or $1,000 less, or you know what, throw in that hitch, or you know what, if I'll do it today if you give me $1,000 credit towards your parts store. Whatever you want to kind of word it like that. When you negotiate the small things, you get a better deal. Yeah, and credit unions, anybody can do a short-term loan, but credit unions generally are going to be a higher rate on longer terms and lower rate on shorter terms. But you know, go get pre-approved. Okay. Good night, Woodkeys. Oh shit, 7:20. Okay, I gotta get out. I gotta turn on. I gotta do some stuff. So, and my battery's running low. One last look at that beautiful sunset. I enjoyed being outdoors. Thank you again, guys, for the super thanks, super chats. Appreciate you, Basic Mom. I'll get you my Cash App here in a minute. Okay. Thanks, guys. You guys have a great night. Remember, tomorrow morning I'm doing the podcast, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Wednesdays, I'm going live at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. But remember, you don't have to be there live because it'll stream all week long. Have a good one, guys.